Can you hear me?
Yep.
I think I need another earphone because I'm hearing this tapping noise in my ear. Are you hearing that?
No.
Okay. We're not recording on. Oh,
We definitely are.
hey girl. Hey.
Hey, boo.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I guess hanging in here. No complaints.
What you do this weekend?
Well, this weekend, it actually was kind of like a busy little weekend. My daughter is, for you listeners who don't know, my daughter is in competitive cheerleading, and her first competition of the season was this weekend. So that was super exciting, and it's always nerve-wracking, especially with the off season, with all the training and the practices and stuff. And I get a little bit of privileges where I seen a couple of the practices, and I was like, "Whoa!" I don't know how they're gonna look when they take the mat, but they did really, really good.
They won, right?
Yes, they won first place. Actually, all three teams in our organization placed first place. So we got like a little a clean sweep. That's what they call it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely a successful season opener. So next competition is in 2 weeks, and they get to clean up, any little things that they messed up on. But they was the only team that got zero deductions, which is a really good thing. Means like, no one fell or they did something where they had to give them a deduction or something like that. So that was really good. And it was really exciting. And it's like every season I just realize more and more of how much of a teen mom I am or a cheer mom that I am, because I'm already I'm in charge of like communications for the team. So like, I help the coaches and the director put out information to the parents and stuff. But then I got named as a team mom for my daughter's team. And like, I don't know, like I knew before I had kids, I was going to be one of those parents, like whatever sport that they're involved in, like I'm going to be there front row, like cheering, giving my all. But like, I'm not letting myself down. Like I really am.
Not letting myself down. Shut up.
I'm living up to everything that I thought I would be. Like I really am. Like I was out here bringing props for the other parents, the new parents. I was like, I know you don't have nothing, so I got something for you. We about to rock it out. It's like, yes. So it was a fun week. And the crazy thing is, the competition was the Saturday, and they had practice Sunday and Monday. So it's like,
oh, okay.
Don't miss a beat. But
yeah,
that's my weekend, which was fun and tiring. But what'd you get into this weekend?
I just hung out with the mini. We did things. We got nails done. We went to Dave and Buster's. We went out to eat. I think we went to the movies too. But yeah, I spent a lot of damn money.
But it was fun. Mommy daughter time.
Yeah.
Don't do that, Shay.
It was just a long weekend, and I just would rather sleep. So it was a lot. But
let me tell you something. Mara will fry you if every weekend all you want. Like, you're so boring. Look at her, I'm tired. Be in the house.
I can't wait till she gets a job, so then she'll be so busy going to work.
You got a couple years for that, ma'am.
But I can hope, and I can dream, and I can envision the way that you knew you were going to be the team mom. I know
that I'm going to
sleep when she's at work.
That is wild. That's what you're looking forward to. Let me order you
an Uber.
Right.
Because I'm not coming to pick you up either.
Right. Get you there quicker. That is petty.
Welcome to the Chatty Pattys podcast. I'm Shay.
And I'm Dice. Welcome. New listeners, old listeners, friends and foes. We welcome you no matter who you are.
Especially foes.
Okay.
Hating bitches.
Thanks for tuning in. We are on episode 24. And this week, we are going to talk about lying ass bitches. That bitch lying. And let's see. I was gonna say what prompted it, but it's been a lot of stuff that's
Netflix
prompted
and
this.
Hell No prompted it for me.
Look.
Netflix and Hell to the No.
Hell to the no, no, no.
Are we starting there? Are we starting Iyanla? There's so many. There's
It's
just so many ways.
it's been a lot of line joints. Where you want to go? We can start with Iyanla and get that out the way, because I
Yeah, because
feel
that's a
like
shorter. Yeah.
Netflix is going to take some time, honey, to
Yeah.
dissect that. So, to listeners, I'm sure if y'all have been tuning in, y'all know this season of Iyanla has been everything so far. I think we are probably 4 or 5 episodes into the season, and everyone has been a doozy. Okay, Iyanla is really on her game. Owned and gave her some extra coins because the storylines are fantabulous. Because let me say something, we mentioned it last week about the lie detector and the lie detector says, that's the episode, but that was part 1, and I was telling you my frustrations because they really ended the end of the show, and I wanted to know what the hell the lie detector said. So I was like really into this whole story. And just as a quick catch you up, because I know everyone that which you should be catching up on all the episodes, but just in case you weren't here last week, on the lie detector says, that episode, basically it was a mom with her 3 daughters, and then their father, which the mom and the dad were no longer together. But long story short, the mom accused the father of sexually raping and molesting the oldest and the middle child. And the oldest child didn't believe it. I guess she was old enough to realize, like, nah, that shit didn't happen, like, no dice. But the middle child was younger. I think she was like 2 or 3, supposedly, when this stuff happened. So she was basically listening and was like, if my mom said this, then this is what happened. Like, my dad raped me, and it split up the whole family. It was a lot of division in between. Like, the sisters didn't get along because, the whole situation. And then it was like some sketchy stuff, because if the mom was accusing the father of raping them and assaulting them, like 10 years later, she sent them and gave him not custody, but had them watch them. And it was just like a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But Iyanla, which I didn't know until part 2, the mom is the one who requested this lie detector, and was like,
I knew that.
I didn't know that. Maybe I missed that part in part 1, but I didn't catch it until part 2, that the mom is the one who actually, when she reached out to the show, and was like, we got a lot going on in this family, and it seemed like the way the truth is going to come out is if we get this lie detector popping. Iyanla definitely called her on her bluff and had a whole ass lie detector for not only the mom, but the father. So part 2 is what we talking about. And that's when they started talking about the results and dealing with the results. And this is when the fuck shit starts. Like, literally, the opening of the show is them starting to get the results from the mom's lie detector test.
And that bitch lying.
That bitch was lying. She literally lied about the father raping her daughters. Like, she tried to say that the reason why all this happened, or how she knew it happened, is because when they were visiting the father, the middle child came back and had blood in her underwear. So she kirked and took her to the hospital, and that's how she knew that she had been raped. But Iyanla pulled receipts that got basically it's not an autopsy. I watched too much Discovery ID.
Like the police report.
The police report basically saying that was not blood in the little girl's underwear. And then the oldest sister was like, I told you back then that it wasn't blood. Like, literally, she was eating a popsicle, and some of the popsicle fell in between her legs and got on her underwear. Like, she had on shorts and she was sitting in a car and the popsicle juice got on. Like, that wasn't blood. I told you. So, whole story, mama is a whole ass lie, honey.
Son, I started my menstrual cycle when I was 11. I know what blood looks like. Like,
dog.
So the fact that this lady went to a police station over a popsicle, like, no. So I honestly, after I watched the episode, I really think that something may be wrong with the mom, because she was sitting firm in her lies.
But then every time, like, Iyanla or somebody would call her out, she was just like, she was like, so can you say and admit that was a lie? She was like, yeah, that was a lie. Ma'am, but you just defended your lie for 10 whole ass minutes.
Yes.
And now you're going back being like, yeah, yeah, maybe I could have. No, it's no maybe. Bitch, you lied. Like, what?
That's like a 25, 30-year-old lie, though, because the oldest daughter was 33. So
Dog.
you've been telling your children this. Like the one girl, she said she was 3 when that supposedly happened. So I could understand, like, her believing her mom for all those years.
Right.
So even if she's like, yeah, if she's 28, because I want to say she was like
I don't even
in between
remember.
28, 30. But that's like 25 years
That you got this
of
lie.
thinking that your father
Raped you and molested you.
you.
And then not only did you cause them not having no relationship all this time, you've also caused division between the sisters, because you have the oldest sister that's like, no, I'm telling you that shit didn't happen to me and it didn't happen to you. And you know, the oldest sister grew up with the father for the most part and being close to him. So they're just like, nah, you just taking up for him. Like, because also the mother was saying that she was in a incestuous sexual relationship with her father and was liking it. My G. How?
Yeah.
And like,
she thought she was implying that the oldest daughter's kid's father was her father.
right.
So the grandfather and the daddy. Like,
So, like, all
come on
this stuff
now.
is coming from her mom. So, of course, like, the oldest daughter is not fucking with her mom. She like, yo, and y'all dumb as shit for listening to this bitch. But, you know, it caused so many arguments between the sisters because they like, no, you just stupid. You all the dad's ass. Probably because, like, what mom said, you smashing them and blah, blah. And whole time, like, no, mama's a whole ass liar. Like, what the entire fuck? Like, literally, I was watching that episode, like, yo, like, you got to be beyond bitter to not only lie on somebody about that, but lie on the father of your kids. And then you keep this lie, and it's causing all these issues with your own relationship with your daughter. But then they also brought out some stuff that, like, she ain't even want her daughter. She ain't want no kids.
Right.
The only reason why she kept the kids, or kept when she was pregnant with the oldest daughter, the only reason why she kept it because the dude, she wasn't with the father anymore. She was messing with this other guy. And the guy was like, look, don't worry about it. Keep the baby and you could just say it's mine. And she was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. But long story short, she felt like she was being pressured to even keep the baby. So to be pregnant and not even want the baby that's in your belly, like, and then when the baby's born, I'm sure subconsciously she was treating her like, I don't even want this joint. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there was no connection from the womb to birth to adulthood. So she probably didn't feel no daggone way about lying and saying all this stuff that she said about her.
Aside from the rape stuff, which is already
horrible,
right in itself, the oldest daughter felt like, the mom didn't love her, rightfully so. Then the middle daughter felt like the older daughter her older sister resented her, and the older sister was saying like, yeah, I kind of did because our mother only loved you,
right?
Or loved y'all. She didn't love me. And then the middle sister is like, well, daddy and daddy's side of the family only loved you. So it's just like all this because your mama is a lying ass bitch,
right?
Like, not to say that they wouldn't have disagreements because
but not like
do, but
this.
not to this level.
Right.
This shit is all wrapped up in the fact that there's such that lie. That's a big ass lie. Jesus Christ.
And it was keeping that lie all episode 1 and the beginning of episode 2 with a straight ass face. Like a whole ass straight face. Like, no.
Like,
that's what happened.
Why did she get upset with the husband when the husband was just like, bitch, you lying?
Right. Like, no, stop it. Like, there's no stop it. Even Iyanla's like, no, wait a minute, hold on. Man, you're a whole ass liar and you telling this man to stop talking? Like, no, that's what you're not gonna do. And of course, long story short, like the husband or the father, he passed his lie detector that he didn't have any sexual feelings towards his daughter and didn't touch them sexually or anything like that. So it's just like you robbing them of time in relationship with their father. Because God forbid, what if something would have happened and this man would have died? You know what I'm saying? Right. And they never got the chance to get to, repair that or try to build upon that. Luckily, he's still living and they got this sorted out and can, I guess, try to start building a relationship. But like, dog, like you said, she either has to have some mental issues or she's just the most bitterest bitch in life. Like, I cannot even deal.
I'm not gonna accept the fact that someone is just that bitter
Because that's
for
a
no
doozy of
reason.
a lie, my G.
I feel like maybe she has some shit mentally going on that she gotta sort out,
Yeah.
get some meds. I don't
Because
know.
I know
But
that they
that's
said that like it came out that she was molested when she was younger, but they bleeped out
right.
who she was molested by. But I guess she was molested, I think they said at 12. But this is my thing, and I'm sure those of you guys who have been listening, everyday people get molested and we don't go around lying like that on our children's fathers. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I understand people handle things differently, but we ain't going out like that, like that. Like, that's wild.
Because they tried to make it seem at one point like, oh, maybe, she just she sees men as predators because when she was 12 that happened. And I'm just like, being scared or, maybe having reservations about men being around your children,
Is one thing.
I get it. But you just lied. Like,
And
you
kept up
had
with the
no
lie.
proof. Right. You had no proof. You got a fucking police report that came back that said it wasn't blood. So
Right.
even if that you thought that's what it
Yeah.
was, it came back that it wasn't. And you still continued to lie into their adulthood and even shamed your oldest daughter into, shamed her, talking about, yeah, you probably sleeping with your daddy and liking it. That's probably your kid's dad.
Knowing damn well none of that shit was true.
Like, girl,
So,
that's crazy.
lying at bitch.
Yeah, now I feel like I can't take my family on there because we got normal
Look,
problems,
that's what I'm saying. Like, every time I want to go on this show and be like, I need to go on there and work some stuff out. Somebody shows me like, you know what, Dice, life ain't that bad. Like, because look what they need to work out. Like, you talking about fixing lives? Like, nah, they take priority.
I honestly was like, shit, y'all need more than Iyanla. I'm glad they said that she got them family counseling because that's gonna take a long time to undo like the
Yeah,
damage.
ain't no weekend or however long they stay, they're gonna fix that. Even though like it did a lot and
Mm-mm.
it revealed a lot, they're gonna need continuing family counseling and individual counseling, especially that middle
Yes.
daughter. Like, that middle daughter, the fact that all her life pretty much that's what she believed, and for that to just know, like, no, all that shit was a lie, your mama was a lie too. Like, that's gotta be a lot, my G. So yeah, they definitely
Would
gonna
you
need to.
forgive your mom?
Dog, like, I don't know, like, it's my mama, so I'm like, I love you with every being of me, but you done lost your fucking mind. Like, I that would be a long ass road to forgiveness. But in the beginning, I would be a bitter bitch. Like,
I couldn't see me fucking with my mom for
a long
a
ass
while.
time. Like,
Yeah.
for like, I would literally, honestly and truly, we would need counseling to get past that. Like, it's no way you just gonna send me home and then be like, all right, like, y'all be cool, like nothing happened. Like, that definitely would fuck up our relationship big time. That's like that's the one of the worst lies. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm sitting up here hating this man this whole time, and this is my real ass father. Like, this isn't a stepfather. This isn't like Uncle Joe that I call. Like, no, this is my whole blood ass father that I have not had a relationship with my whole life because you
Right.
told a fucking lie. Like, bitch, you're wilding. But yeah, that, I don't know. That it would take a long ass time and some counseling to get past that shit. But that's the line bit number one.
Line bit number 2, though. So let me tell y'all. I was in the house. I had a paper to write. Boom, bam. Netflix is on. And I'm
Wait
like,
a minute, time
oh,
out. You can watch movies while you write papers?
well, yeah, if they're boring ones.
I can't do that. When I was in school, like, literally, I can't even play music. Like, shit has to be quiet. I have to think because I'm easily distracted. Because papers are boring, so any little thing will take my attention away from what the fuck I'm doing. But like, that's a lot of good concentration.
It does. I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. I honestly, I just have a short attention span because I don't feel like doing this shit anymore. So it doesn't matter. At some point, I'm going to start doing something else. So it's just like, just put the TV on. Usually, I would just put something on that I don't think I'm going to be interested in just to have the noise.
Right.
And I honestly went into this like, I'm about to just put this on because, like,
Has
I
something in the
don't care.
background.
Right. But, baby. So, listeners, what I'm going to suggest is if you have not seen Abducted in Plain Sight
on Netflix.
that you pause, go watch that
and then come on back.
And then come
back.
Let
me say, it's
so we can all be confused together.
Look, because it's worth it. Like, I'm telling
really
you,
is.
It's not like some random, like, it's not like, like how people were kind of split between Bird Box and stuff. Like, nah, you need to watch this and feel what we feeling. Like, I'm telling you. So press pause now. Watch that joint. It's literally only an hour and a half. Come back and then press play so we can get this whole breakdown together, because baby,
I was only 30 minutes in when I hit Dice Up, because she is my Netflix documentary correspondent.
Yes.
Usually she's seen all of them. So I hit her up first because I'm like, I know she did not watch no crazy ass
and
shit.
I
like
hit
this
you up.
Didn't tell me.
You already know I would have been like, bitch. What the fuck is going on? Go watch this.
OMG. I have told like 5 people to go watch it because I'm like, son, maybe I'm fucking crazy. Like maybe maybe I'm sleepy and I'm seeing shit. Abducted in Plain Sight is wild as fuck.
It literally will have you rolling your eyes and cursing at the TV. So, quick summary before we go into the details of this fuck shit. I'll give you the little Netflix summary. It's about a family from Idaho that ends up being manipulated and brainwashed by a sociopathic neighbor whose whole plot is to get their 12-year-old daughter, Jan. Okay, that's a little Netflix. Let me get a Chatty Pattys version. This nigga fucking crazy, bro. Let me tell you about this shit. So, where do we even start? Okay, first of all, it was this family. They're like super, Christian. Or I don't want to say Christian because I don't know what their denomination is.
No, they were Christians. I want to say they were Latter-day Saints, I think.
Okay.
I could be tripping on that, but I feel like they definitely were Christian because they talked about church a lot.
Yeah, they were super religious. Like, they went to church all the time. They were like really family oriented, that sort of thing. Like, it was altogether, it was it 2 daughters or 3 daughters?
No, 3 daughters.
3 daughters, and then the mom and the dad. And then it was a family that moved into their neighborhood that basically mirrored them. It was the mom and dad, and then 3 kids. I don't know if it was 3 daughters, but it was 3 kids. So like,
we don't know what the sexes are of them kids because they never even talked
about it. They ain't matter. Look, let me tell you. Fuck that other family. But look, long story short, they end up being, I always say long story short and then end up long. Pause. Well, look. They end up being like the best of friends. Like, the mom and dad of each family like hung out really tight. And then the
sisters talked about how they hung out with the kids.
They were like best friends. They were like
had their own best friend of the family.
Like, it was super lit. So let me tell you something. The father of this family, that the new family that came to the neighborhood, he was like just known as being like a super really nice guy.
His name is B.
Yeah, literally, not to be confused with B-Dub, my husband, because we're not from Idaho. I don't want y'all listening like, oh shit, Dice's husband is on Abducted in Plain Sight. No, not that B. Okay, so B was like super, they say he was like really charismatic. He was good with kids. Like, he was super, like, everybody loved him. Like, even the other neighbors in the neighborhood, like, they interviewed some of them and they was just like, look, he was just a really nice guy. And he was like everything. He was lit. But honey, when they start peeling back the layers of this onion, and I love to use onions as an example, it was like so much fuck shit. So he, in a nutshell, had this thing for their daughter, their 12-year-old daughter,
the oldest daughter,
Jan. So he had a thing for Jan, and he's just figuring out like, how the fuck I'm gonna get to Jan? Like, I can't just be like, all right, like, let me get Jan, let me get your youngest daughter. So he basically brainwashed this whole damn family to do stuff that you could not even imagine.
But you're moving too fast. You're moving too
fast. What am I missing? Okay, go ahead. Come on, stop me, because I don't want to mess it up.
So they're saying, like, red flag for me was the parents acknowledged that they knew that he had a fascination for that daughter in particular.
Because he called her Dolly or something. He had like a nickname for her.
He had a name for her. And they even said, like, when he would come over, he would just be very affectionate with
just her. And then when they showed some of those pictures, I feel like some of them pictures were inappropriate. Like when he was sitting on her, when she was sitting on his lap, and like her hand was kind of like on his upper thigh. First of all, let me tell you something. My daughter is not sitting on no man's lap besides her grandfather and her daddy. That's it. No, you're not sitting on no man's lap. Get your ass down and sit on this goddamn couch. Like the neighbor that's cool. Like, no, it's not happening. So like those pictures alone were just like, oh, it kind of made me cringe as a mom. Like, I don't know.
Not just that, but the daughters talked about how like they shared. I think it was maybe the sister's name was Karen or Susan. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Jane had a sister. And they shared a room
in the basement.
B decided that Jan was getting a little older, so she needed her privacy. So he suggested to the family, like, "Oh, let me build a wall,
so they can have their own separate spaces, like their own bedrooms."
But it was basically so he could separate
the sisters, and they wouldn't be in the same damn room.
Up. So,
and you already knew like this dude had a thing for you, and you just like, all right, go ahead and build this wall, like, and you know what I'm saying, like, so they can have their separate rooms or whatever, because like they said like the room was really big, so it could have been split in half and they still had decent sized bedrooms. But like that was red flag number 27. Like, what the hell?
That was early on. So then, you know, they talk about how charismatic he is. So the mama starts to talking about how like one time, you know, they got to flirting and they kissed, but she was just like, you know, I'm not going to do nothing because she's married to her own husband. Then the motherfucking husband.
Ooh, daddy. This was like...
This is when I knew that I was about to be in for some shit that I didn't realize I was going to be in for. And this is actually when I stopped writing the paper and I just watched the rest of the documentary because I was like, what the fuck
am I watching?
So the dad, Jan's dad, talks about how like him and B got along because they had similarities. They were both like businessmen and stuff like that. But he was saying he knew that B and his wife didn't have like the best relationship because one day B hit him up and was like, let's go for a ride. And during the ride, he was just like, you know, I don't have sex with my wife, but I need some relief. And Jan's dad is telling the story. He's like, and I noticed he was aroused. So I said, bitch's dick was hard. And I was yelling at the TV because nobody else was here. So
like,
I'm like, bitch, what you mean?
It's like, two whole ass men in this car. What are we talking about here?
Child, he said that B looked at him and was just like, you know, I need some relief. Like, you know, it's just like what young boys do.
And like they said at first they laughed about it, but like
he did it.
Dog, he was on some Fire Festival shit.
I was just thinking that, like, he just took one for the team, like just like the nigga for the Avion boy.
Look, I need to go ahead and post this like as the question of the day this week. Like, how many males would look out for their homie if they needed some relief? Because look,
we're gonna get reported,
flagged,
right?
Because look, that man went ahead and gave B some relief from his D.
Yes, he did.
So. Yes.
So, am I tripping, or did they continue to do stuff?
Yes, because like, they said that they were in a homosexual relationship, and he said he felt bad. Well, he said after that initial act, he felt bad because he basically went against, you know, like everything in his marriage and like cheated on his wife. Even though they didn't had sex, like he, you know, because like I said, they were super religious and that sort of thing, and he was like, you know, he was just super hurt because he like, dang, when I thought about it, like, I can't believe I did this to my wife, not knowing the whole time your wife already kissing B. But dog, like, so yeah, I did see that they were in like a whole homosexual like rendezvous relationship, my G. Like they was in a whole like sexual relationship. After that,
I thought that they said that, but then I kind of forgot about that little liner because then it got into the story about how like it's like a random day of the week and B comes to the house and he's like, oh, I want to take Jan to go riding on horses. And the mom is like, you know, it's a school night. I don't think tonight is a good night. But somehow the neighbor convinces her to let the daughter go, which I'm like, first of all,
because then she had like some type of practice or something, and she was like, you better make sure that you back by that time. She had something, and she was like, you know, you better be back by that time. And he was like, don't worry, I'll have her back like in enough time that
I
she'll
don't
make it.
remember. What I remember is that if I said no, my daughter, first of all, my daughter's not going off with the random neighbor
That
dad.
I'm
Like,
kissing. Like, what are you talking about? Because
that's
at that point
weird.
they had already kissed and stuff.
I would have been like, you taking all the girls at the, like, if I felt, because I'm saying at this point, I'm assuming that they really fuck with B. So they really,
Like,
like,
they
this
really
was their
trust
homie.
him. But you already have in your mind, like, he really banged with Jan, like, more than everybody else. Like, there's no flag or antenna as a mom to be like, this ain't right. It's a grown ass man. Like, why are you taking my daughter horseback riding? Like, this is just so
You
random.
got 3 of your own
Your own
kids.
kids, like, you're not taking your daughters along. Like, this is not a whole group. Like, what's going on?
So he takes Jan to go horseback riding.
And in the car.
But then she don't come home.
But listen, on the way, remember when because they were saying that she was having allergies. She had some type of allergies, so he gave her medicine for her allergies. And apparently this wasn't no damn allergy medicine. It was basically a
because she couldn't
roofie.
remember
Yeah, so it
anything.
basically made her pass the fuck out. So he drugged her ass, and like, they went missing, my G. Like, they literally went missing. He abducted her ass.
They started off in a car, then they ended up in a motorhome.
Mm-hmm.
So the parents, you know, she didn't come home when she was supposed to come home
that evening.
And they're just like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah.
I don't understand what happened. Maybe B's car broke down. You know, this was preference. This isn't current time. So they didn't have cell phones to call B. They didn't have a pager to beep him. Like, this is like,
it's like the
70s. So, like, they literally have to sit there and wait and figure out what the hell is going on, which, thank God I'm not raising kids in the 70s. But look.
After 2 days, she decides to call somebody, but those offices are closed.
Because it's the weekend.
Because, you know, again, they don't have 24-hour emergency services or whatever. So basically, it's 5 whole goddamn days.
Until they call the damn FBI.
Until they call the FBI to report that their child is missing. And the reason why I'm pissed off is because, like, she said that there was some other number she could have called, but she was like,
I'm sure that it's nothing. Like, I don't want to alert the authorities.
What?
Your daughter has been gone and you have not heard from anyone. And you're trying to give common courtesies to be like, well, maybe. Like, no, maybe he should have been home when the hell
he's nuts.
Right. Maybe he should have had your daughter back when he said he was going to have it. Or maybe you shouldn't have let him go in the first place. But it's been... 5 days, my G. 24 hours, 5 times. Like, it's been that long. And
24 hours, 5 times.
And she's not back yet. Okay? Like, what in the world?
So, the interesting thing, and I should have said this before, I know in the beginning of the movie, I assumed that Jan was dead. But she's not dead because she was telling her side of the story, too. Mm-hmm. So after all this fuckery and foolery, because I was pissed. I live tweeted from our page because I was just like, I got to see what everybody else is talking about, and everybody was kind of on the same page as me. But you know, Jan talks about how she wakes up and she's tied down, and there's like a little white box that's next.
Look, let me tell you something. So I watched this documentary after Shay has already seen it. So, like, I'm literally texting her when certain parts are coming in. I know she probably was waiting, because when I told her I was watching, I know this bitch was waiting for my text to come through. They'd be like, I know this bitch about to hit me up. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm texting as if, like, she's sitting right beside me with the comments. Because, like, literally this shit is, like, mind-boggling. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So this part, I actually had to rewind it because I had stepped out the room real quick, and I came back and I was like, aliens. So y'all, the girl is tied up. There's a little white box, and the people in the little white box, or the person in the white box, is telling her that she has been abducted by aliens. And she had like a mission, wasn't it? Like a mission. She had to have a baby with the first person she saw, first man that she met or something like that.
And like, in order, like, basically it's to save the world, and if she doesn't complete this mission, like, humanity is doomed pretty much. Or like, she was saying, like, no, it was some kind of stipulations, like, if she didn't do it by her 16th birthday, then like they were going to come get her sister, and somebody was going to be dead, and
That's what it
somebody's going to be
was.
blind or something
Yep,
like
yep,
that.
yep.
Like, it was something crazy as shit like that. And so originally I was just like, yo, this is the stupidest shit in ever. But I had to keep in my mind that she's 12. She's like 12 or 13.
Not only, but no, she was 12 at the time she got abducted. And I was thinking that too, because I was like, there's no way my daughter will fucking believe this. But then I got to consider that if she was drugged,
she's groggy and out of it.
She's groggy, she's disoriented, she wakes up, she's tied. She doesn't know where she's at.
She thinking she going daggone horseback ride, and she's in a camper, which I'm sure she didn't see herself being put in a camper. So she's waking up in a strange place, feeling a certain kind of way, because I'm sure, with the background that they had, like, she hadn't, I didn't get any, inklings that she had done drugs or anything like that. So she never had this feeling before, like, oh, I'm feeling out of it, and like I'm hearing this little white box, like, these people talking to me that sounds like aliens, and they're telling me. So she's believing every single word.
So the dude B, because of course he's the one that orchestrated this fuck shit, he done bruised himself up so that when she sees him, she will believe the alien abduction story and believe that he was harmed in the process.
He was in the other part of the daggone motor vehicle, the little RV.
Motorhome,
yes.
Yeah.
Beat up, pretending to be passed out, so that when she got up and freed herself and she's getting up, walking through the joint, she sees him. And she's like, oh my God. Like, she was like, she thought he was dead at first. I was like, yo, what's going on? Waking up. And he finally wakes up like, what happened? Where are we? And she's just like, the aliens, like, it's the mission. And he's just like playing along. Like, I'm sure this man could have gotten an award with his little performance. And she's just in her mind like, well, this is it. Like, this is the guy that I'm supposed to complete the mission with. So, like, I need to.
Even though he's 40.
Dog.
Gross.
I need to have sex with him and, like, have a baby by him. But, yeah, my G, like, what? How long was they gone?
I can't remember how long they were gone. It was a few weeks at the very least, maybe a month or two. I really can't remember.
Okay.
I just know they ended up in Mexico. They got married down there. But she called. Is that what happened?
I think what happened was, didn't he call and ask for permission to marry her? Is that what happened? Because I feel like at some point during this, he contacted the family.
I feel like she had called the family, and
that's right.
Point,
she called to tell her sister hi and that I'm okay.
Right.
And that's right. They were tapping. They ended up tapping the phone line or something like that, right?
So they found out where they were at. Somehow B's brother was somehow involved in all this because, at this point, B realizes like the FBI is involved. So that's when he called the family and asked for permission because he didn't want to get in trouble. If
when they came back, right? He wanted to make sure that it was like he could say, well, the parents gave me permission to marry Jan. So,
right. But so I know at some point the FBI got the Mexican police to like find him. They put him in jail.
Had her kind of detained, but
he paid them off so he could talk to her. He gave
the federales.
So she would come to his cell, and basically he told her at the cell, like, you can't tell anybody about the aliens, you can't tell anybody about the sex, like,
keep the mission to yourself.
Keep the mission to yourself. So in her 12-year-old mind, she's just like, the mission, I gotta save the world. Da, 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 da. So she gets back home,
reunited with her family, and was like, not here for nothing or nobody.
Didn't tell them about any of the extra stuff that had happened. Was kind of standoffish with her father because part of the mission was also like she couldn't hang out with other men.
Yeah, she couldn't have any contact or talk with any other men, and that was including her father, my G. She didn't even sit by her dad on the plane home from Mexico. And
So
she
the father
said he
knew
was
there was
like, yeah, something was wrong. Like, cause he's like, yo,
right.
she's not even acting the same towards me. Like, this ain't what he say. This isn't the end of our problems or something that he said was his
Right.
little line or whatever.
Oh, I remember this part. So they went and they got a like a rape kit, or they went to go look and see if she had been like sexually abused, and her
Yes,
hymen wasn't broken.
but
But she had mentioned how when they would have sex, he would only put like an inch in.
yeah, he was only putting a tip in. So this nigga, when premeditated is not even the word for this dude, he
Right.
thought of everything. So I guess he's just like, just in case something happens, like you can still seem like you're a virgin. Like he wasn't like
Right.
going all the way penetration, but enough, I guess, to please himself, which is sick as
Gross.
fuck. But
Yeah.
yeah, like they did a rape kit and was like, yeah, like it looks like everything's intact. So because she was like denying everything, like, no, we didn't have sex. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I knew where we were going. Like, it was consensual. Like, blah blah. Like, we were going here and whoopty whoopty whoop. So like they really couldn't do anything as far as pressing charges and stuff.
Well, they couldn't, but the FBI ended up moving forward and pressing charges because at the end of the day, he
Take
did transport
yeah
a minor over
out of the
state laws,
countries.
out the country,
Mm-hmm.
state laws, yeah, state lines, out of the country, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So his wife, this was probably like the second time she's mentioned in
Yeah,
this
because they
goddamn
weren't even talking
documentary.
about B's wife, no kids.
Right. So B's wife shows up at the parents' home and is like begging them to drop charges against her husband. And then she's like, well, if you don't, you know, the husband's details of his homosexual affair that's gonna come out.
And it's a small town and they super religious, so they did not want that shit to happen.
So these motherfuckers dropped the charges,
And
y'all.
when they say that the FBI, like they had like the dude, one of the dudes on the FBI, I guess that was working the case, he said he was fucking livid. He was just like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what happened? It's like, no, we're not like, pressing charges. And I was mad about that too, because I would have been like, well, y'all niggas just gonna have to know that I was relieving B, because this shit is not about this is not about to go under the radar and he's not going to get away with this. But like, yeah, they literally like did not cooperate with the whole and like the proceedings or whatever. Like, no, we're not going to charge him. But like you said, they still, did he get time? I feel like he got some time.
He ended up, he still had to do something because of the FBI charges, but because the parents backed out, the shit got reduced so much that he only ended up serving 10 days in jail
That's
behind this
right.
shit.
10
10
fucking days,
days.
my G. Like, a week and a half.
Like,
For taking a minor away from her
to Mexico.
parents to Mexico.
Married her. Fucked her. Well,
Though.
they didn't know about the fucking part,
But
but still.
yeah, they knew about the married part.
Right.
So
Child. So, the interesting thing is the brother, this was early on, B's brother said he knew that B liked little girls, was a pedophile because he had even done something to their half sister.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's just like R. Kelly's brother, who was just like,
I mean,
Robert got a preference for young
he's
girls.
always had a whole thing for the young ones. Like, what are you? This is
Like,
not normal, my G. Like, what are you
what's wrong with
talking
y'all
about?
niggas?
This is not
Child.
okay.
Okay, so where we at in this damn fucked up story? Because, child,
So
it gets
now,
worse, y'all.
after he gets out, some kind of way they get in contact again.
They were writing letters, I know, at one point,
Like about
and they
how
were
much,
showing some of the letters.
dog,
Like,
about how much he loves her and all this other stuff. But I feel like I don't know if they started back with the mom or then they went back in with Jan. Because remember him and the or maybe that's towards the end. But I remember him and the mom was starting to link up.
I feel like that was a little later on. Before then, though.
But I remember she was talking, and she was like, the first time I seen him, after all of this, but I can't remember what the situation was and where they saw each other at. All right, well, anyway, listeners, go watch the shit, because it's not fresh on our goddamn brain. But some kind of way, the daughter and B ends up linking up or seeing each other some kind of way. And long story short, like, they got back to the mission, my G. Like, yeah, that's what it was. Remember, they said that he admitted to the family that he had a problem and he was going to therapy. And then he say, in order for him,
that was before he even abducted her.
Well, we forgot that part. This is a crazy thing that I just couldn't even imagine. So a part of his therapy is, but no, I thought that was after he abducted, because they were saying, like, the whole thing about him with liking younger girls or something like that. Like, a part of his therapy was to admit it and to confront it. So, like, a part of his therapy was that he had to stay in the house and sleep in the bed with Jan.
So they were letting him sleep, because at one point they said for 6 months he slept in her bed 4 days out of the week.
So
for 6 months. That was after the abduction?
I don't remember. Like, oh my gosh, y'all gonna think we such trash covering this and don't remember all the details.
Well, it's such a fucked up story.
It's so much stuff.
Halfway, yeah.
I don't remember if it was after or before. Oh, it's more fuck shit. I don't know if
I could have sworn it was before.
Maybe it was then, but I remember that maybe it was before, because it was like we really didn't feel comfortable with it, but because it was a part of his therapy, we said okay. And I remember I text you like, wait a minute. So you letting this grown ass man sleep in the bed with your minor daughter, even though you don't feel comfortable with it, you letting her being violated. But because
let's talk about the fake ass therapist that gave, because he got a therapist
to sign off
really
on
a licensed,
but the joint wasn't
right.
Right, was not even like a whole ass real therapist. Like, your shit had been revoked a whole long time ago. So wasn't
the tapes would instruct him though to like, they'll rub her arm and caress her,
and they would play
this will help you get over it, and I'm just like,
this would be playing while they laying in the bed together. Like,
that is disgusting. That is really gross.
That's really crazy. Well, that makes me wonder then, if this was before, then what was Jan's feelings towards him then? Like, was she liking him sexually in that manner before all of this then?
I don't,
because I didn't think they really wanted. I really didn't think about it, but I didn't think she was really looking at him like that until after the whole alien thing, where she was just like, we got to do this mission. And then after that, it was just like, oh, I love you. And like, this is lit. So I don't know. Like, that's kind of weird. Like, anyway, the whole thing is weird, but
the whole thing. So did the mom thing happen before or after this?
Maybe after then, because I'm
talking about the other thing with the mom. Okay, y'all. Fuck it. We may be it might be out of order,
but like, look, if y'all did as we said to pause the shit and go look at it and come back, then you can just correct us in your head and be like, no, bitch, it was before. So like, look, whether it was before or after, this part also happened.
So this happened after
the abduction.
This for sure. The mom went to go talk to B. Not sure what they needed to talk about. It was kind of strange because it sounded like the mom and him kind of continued communication, and I just don't know what we would have to talk about after you abducted my daughter.
For sure.
But that's just me. And basically, she says that they fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they fuck that day, but they continued to have sex for 8 months after this.
Dog, they was in a whole sexual relationship. So
she even said she was in love with him.
Yeah. She was just like, it was just something about him and how he made me feel. And like,
he abducted your kid.
Dog, and you up here having sexual relations with that man.
I was like,
like,
what the fuck is happening?
Dog. The fuck crazy. And didn't like the husband find out, so he ended up filing for divorce.
Yes.
So the husband was like, no, fuck this shit. Like, this is crazy. The man is sick.
Because he's like, you're putting my kids in danger.
Right. So he's just like, no, like, fuck that dude. Like, we get a divorce. Like, I already had to like relieve this man, and now you in love with him. Like, no, fuck this dude. And once she saw that her husband was a whole fucking serious about this shit and was about to take custody of his kids, she was just like, all right, like, I gotta cut it the fuck out. Like, I won't deal with B anymore, and I just want you. And I think he ended up taking the divorce off the table. But honey, Daddy was not playing. He said, look, you got me fucked up. Like, it's one thing to cheat on me, but you gonna cheat with B? Oh, no.
Oh my gosh. So all that happens between the parents, and at this point Jan is getting a little older, so now she can work.
She's like 16 at this point, right?
Right. He was working at like what was it, like a water park or something?
I think so. Some type of amusement park or fair or something.
Right. So guess where Jan ended up working, y'all?
Child.
Right up there with B.
Right.
Like, she wanted to work with him. She didn't care. Like, even though her parents were like, what are you doing? Like, what's happening? She didn't give a shit.
She was like, no, wait a minute. Is this?
No, that was somewhere else.
That's somewhere else, because I'm talking about the flying joint.
What's the flying joint? Oh, hell. Go ahead. You tell this part.
So she was having a fucking hissy fit because she wanted to go and visit him or something, and they were just like, no, like, you're not gonna go see him, like, you're crazy. And like, literally, she was making life a living hell. You know how others do, like, throwing their little other tantrums and like having a fucking fit. Like, I'm having a bitch fit. Like,
she said she was going to hitchhike.
I'm going to hitchhike to go see her. B even called their house and was like, look, you need to talk to Jan because she's talking about hitchhiking to come see me. Like, literally, this man was calling them as if they were still homies. Like, hey, I talked to Jan and she's like really adamant about coming to see me. And she's talking about hitchhiking. Like, you need to talk to her. Long story short, the mom, because the dad was upset about it when he found out, but the mom ended up paying for a flight to go see him. I forgot where he was at. Don't even ask me what state he was in, but she bought the ticket to fly her out to go see him. The same man that abducted your daughter, that you almost lost your husband to. Come on, my G. You flew your daughter. At this point, she's like a teenager, like 16. Flew him out. Flew him out to see boo. Like, what? Like, you're wilding. And she didn't want to come back. Definitely didn't want to come back because they still working on the mission at this point.
She did come back though, right?
Yep, she ended up coming back briefly. And they said when she came back, she was like a whole nother person. Like, she didn't fuck with nobody. The sisters,
like, even worse.
Like, worse than before. Like, when she was abducted, she was just like, nah, fuck this shit. Like a whole different person. Her whole vibe was like she was checked out. And I don't know what happened next after this. So she got flued out. After that,
she got abducted again, y'all. After that, she went missing. No one could find her. Like, and this went on. This time, it did go on for months.
Nobody had talked to her, seen her. They was even calling B. B was like, I don't know, bruh. Like, I don't know where she at.
B was calling the house like, hey, have you heard from Jan? The mom would be like, B, have you heard from Jan? They on the phone crying to
They literally had recordings of the calls, like, of them talking. Oh, what else was reenactments? I felt like those was the real calls from the FBI, but maybe not.
No, the calls and the recordings and stuff were real, but like when we would see the scenes of like
those were the reenactments.
Those were the reenactments, but them recordings were real.
So he literally was calling off the, hey, what's going on?
Oscar nominated performances out here. Like,
my key phrase, long story short, they end up some kind of way, I think from the recordings, they tracked down what state or where he was at. So they did a little stakeout outside the little, I guess, trailer park or wherever he was staying at. And he went to go use a payphone. So the payphone, that after he used it, they went in there and he wrote down like a number. He left open the phone book. And when they tracked down the number, it went back to a Catholic school in California or something. And
Because he was in Utah at this point.
Yeah. And so,
which was like close to Cali.
Right. But far enough from Idaho. So they called up, the FBI called up to the school, and they were just like, no, we don't have nobody, as it. Oh, may I mention that when he checked her in, he said that he was her father, but they needed to keep her identity on the low because he was a secret operative. He was a secret agent with the CIA, and he had just came back from serving, and that they could be enemies out to get her. So if anyone calls looking for her, to please
it's really just a ploy to get to him,
right? So please keep her identity because right, exactly. So when the FBI called looking, they're just like, no, we don't have anybody, blah blah. So they're like, look, and they explained the whole situation. They was like, look, she might be there under alias, but like explained everything. And so they end up giving it up and was like, look, yeah, her name was under Janice or Jan, something different. But long story short, she was there, and they got her ass up out of there and flew her back home. And she was not happy about that shit. But this time, he got all of these charges, honey, because
he was impersonating a government official.
Dog, you are impersonating a whole ass CIA operative to put a kid into a school. Like, I need you to get your whole entire fucking life. And you just got off with your week and a half some years ago. Like, you just did not give a fuck.
Mind you, though, listeners, when she went missing the second time, the parents were just telling people she was at the grandmother's house, because this whole thing with the parents is the mother's like, oh, we just didn't want to be a part of the media again.
They care so much about their image and how they look that they didn't want to look bad in their town. So they didn't even tell people that she was missing the second time around. Like, though I know the FBI wanted to chop them in their fucking throat, and I'm surprised that they didn't even fucking charge them with obstruction of justice. Like, it's crazy.
Child negligence at the very least.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of shit that I feel like, nah, this is crazy.
So you can't make this shit up.
Did they kind of just like fast forward after she got home the second time?
Yeah, I think they did.
They fast forward to like the 90s. So the mom ends up writing a book about this whole thing. Like, and the daughter did a foreword in the book, whatever. And they end up becoming like speakers on, child predators and, how they look and what to look out for and what can happen, manipulation.
You forgot about her 16th birthday, remember?
What happened there? Oh, she turned 16 and she realized wasn't no goddamn
dog. So this whole time, she's still believing these aliens that she was told about when she was 12 by B, where that if she didn't complete this mission of having a baby by B to save the world, her sister would die, somebody would go blind, and all this other stuff. So when her 16th birthday came around, and of course she can't complete the mission because the nigga's locked up and like it's not happening. So she's like super stressing, like, yo, what she said that when her 16th birthday came around, and what would happen is she would kill her sister and then herself. That's what this bitch was planning to do. She was going to wake up on her 16th birthday, kill her sister and herself, because she didn't want the aliens to, like, I guess, do whatever they was going to do.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
These bitches is crazy.
So she was just like, yo, I'm just going to fucking take my sister out and kill myself and it'll be a wrap. So, but she said she woke up and on her 16th birthday, her sister was fine. Nobody was blind. Right. And she said it just hit her like, this shit was a whole fucking lie. And she said for the first time she told like her sister or somebody close to her about everything.
Her sister and her best friend
told them about this whole shit, and she just had a whole breakdown. And then I think they was talking about they interviewed the sister, I mean the best friend of somebody, was like, yo, she really believed this. And you could tell that she's like, it really just dawned on her like that this shit wasn't real. And I was like, yo, this bitch was still holding on to this alien story. Like, she was just like, yo, like, I'm about to.
It was taking me so much to not call her dumb, because at the end of the day, she is the victim. But in my mind, I was just like, bitch, you was still believing that.
Like, still?
Like,
still?
Oh my God.
Though, I was like, yo, maybe it had something to do with the victim trauma. Like, she had definitely been through a lot and been brainwashed. And this is just what she was telling us. I'm sure B was feeding her a lot more other shit. But, though, I say, good grief. This has made me want to lock my kids up in a closet and not talk to nobody. Let me tell you something. Like, this whole damn documentary with these lying ass bitches. The mom was a liar.
The mom was definitely a
B
liar.
was a whole ass liar. Like, I just, the theme here. That bitch lying. Like, but yeah.
So the mom and the daughter are doing tours about the book or whatever about this whole story. And, B
Pops
starts
up.
coming to the events and basically saying they're liars. None of that ever happened. They're exaggerating. Blah, blah, blah,
What are you talking about,
blah.
alien? She's crazy. Like, what? Nigga, what?
Then he's like, they Jan went on this trip with me, but they let her do it, which I mean he can say that
Yeah, because she
because they
flew them
dropped
out.
them charges.
And she flew
Yeah,
them
they
out.
flew right. So at this point he is just targeting them, going to all these damn events. He goes to one of the events, y'all, gets into it with some like biker niggas out front. What did he run over one of them or
He
something
ran
like
over the
that?
bike and the biker. Like, basically, I guess they was on their bike and he hit the bike and the person.
Jesus.
Skirt, skirt.
So at this point, he's old as shit. He gets charged. He's found guilty and he's about to go to jail. He tells his brother he cannot go to jail. Like, he can't serve a single day in jail.
It's not happening. So look.
So this motherfucker.
And I'm not laughing. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. Oh my gosh. Look, I texted Shay about this.
He killed himself with Kahlua
and blood pressure medicine.
Yes. He killed himself.
No, he overdosed. But of all the liquor he chose to take with his blood pressure medicine, he got Kahlua. He said, this shit about to taste lovely, honey. Like, this ain't about to go down smooth. This is about to be a breeze. Like, that nigga say, fuck vodka, whiskey, bourbon. And then, though Kahlua got the least amount of fucking percentage of alcohol, so he had to crush that whole bottle, my G.
No, he had to crush them whole bottles of pills because Kahlua is not killing you.
But that's what I'm saying. Even with all the blood pressure medicine, you still have to mix it with the alcohol. Like, you had to crush all them pills and all that Kahlua where you could have just took the pills and a shot of vodka. Like, this man said, no, I need something to wash these pills down with. Which I'm not laughing.
I used to put Kahlua in my ice cream.
Dog, Kahlua
to make me go to sleep.
Ma'am. Kahlua is so tasty. So I don't know. I'm not laughing. Don't fucking judge me. Kiss my ass.
But we are laughing.
But of all the liquors this man picked, and he old because he got blood pressure medicine. So, like, this man took his blood pressure medicine and Kahlua. I cannot deal. I say, so that's how this man went out. He said, no jail.
I was so disappointed, though, because I felt like the whole movie, I was so into it. And then they said Kahlua, and I was like, what?
I text Shay, like, all right, good night. Good night. It's Kahlua for real. I cannot. Like,
I was like, is this a real story?
Dog, this sounds like some fucking Shonda Rhimes. I made this shit up. Like, this is like about to be on the fucking.
Not even Shonda Rhimes. This is some M. Night Shyamalan shit because it's aliens and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what is happening?
This sounds like some fucking fiction, and the fact that this was a whole ass real documentary with real people. First of all, y'all have got to get the award for the worst parents of the century award because y'all, and they even said, they was like, you just look back and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that I missed all these red flags. Like, every single one, every red flag you just had on your Stevie Wonders. Like, you was just like, nah, it's B, he's lit. Like, what are you talking about? And even when he did something shady, you just was like, it's B.
Let me fuck him.
All right, maybe that'll make me change how I feel. But yes, y'all, if y'all haven't seen it and y'all still listen to our commentary, please go look at it for yourself because I'm sure.
Because we're not doing it
our explanation is not doing it no justice. So please, when you watch it's wild as hell. You, like, literally, we didn't make up one line in our explanation. This is all factory, okay? Child, what? I mean, Who else? We got the joint. We touched on the Chris Brown thing last episode.
Yeah.
And I think since then, for those of you who haven't heard, because let me catch you up. I'm speaking as if everyone knows what we know. But Chris Brown, he is actually back in the U.S. after being arrested and questioned about rape allegations when he was in Paris. And the last time we talked about it, he denied all the claims and was like, "That been lying." And he was eventually released without charge and has since filed a defamation case against old girl. And but the investigation is still continuing about what's going on, blah blah. And she claimed this is something that I didn't know, but I saw this, that she claimed that she was not pressured by him physically, but was under great psychological pressure when the non-consensual sex took place. Like, apparently they met earlier that night at a club, and then the alleged rape happened at Chris Brown's hotel, and they said the bodyguard and a friend also abused her. And let me tell you something. I've seen a lot of people, like, all it said was Chris Brown arrested for alleged rape. And let me tell you something, social media went the fuck in. It was like, this nigga, here he go again. Chris Brown, like, you some fuck shit. Woo-de-woo-de-woo. And I was just like, let's just get a little bit more information, because, like, he definitely got accused. Not saying that he's exonerated, but he definitely was accused of some shit. And, like, they want to see this nigga go down, pause. But let's just wait a little bit and get a little bit more information. And then here we go, where I feel like if there may have been some evidence that he raped somebody, they wouldn't let his ass go so easily. Like, they literally let him go with no charge, and he's back in the U.S. and filing cases against her ass. So, is that been lying? It seems like she might be.
All I know, and I said this last week, was that if you already didn't bang with him because of the Rihanna situation, you are well within your right to feel that way.
Right.
However, to hear that he was arrested on allegations, and then for those charges to be dropped, and for you to still be like, well, he's trash because, based on his behavior, I could see him doing it. Like, that's not fair.
Right.
If you just don't fuck with him because of the Rihanna thing, just say that.
Right.
But just be like, based on his behavior, I could see him doing that. I just feel like that's kind of fucked up.
Right.
Like, because I don't even understand what his behavior would have, like, well, rape is violent. So, yeah, I could see that. But I don't... I don't know, because I don't understand. I'm not caping for him. I just felt like people who were really like about to hang him for this kind of came back, and they still were not apologetic. They were just like, well, just because the charges were dropped doesn't mean anything. It's still fuck him, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
okay.
I hope you keep the same energy with other celebrities and people when stuff happens, but they won't.
I just kind of left it alone.
Yeah, but that definitely goes into This Is Dice, my file cabinet of that big line, because I don't believe it. But I wasn't there. I wasn't in the room. But yeah, just from what's being released, it sounded sketchy to me. But yeah, we'll leave that there under this topic. What else?
Tea time, because I got tea.
I got tea
Unless
too.
you have some more.
No, I got tea. Go ahead.
Okay. So tea time, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lady named B. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
B. Smith owned some restaurants. She had a show at one point.
Mm-hmm.
She was a model, all that good stuff. So she married her husband, I think, in like 92. She has Alzheimer's, though. Alzheimer's, how we say it. And she's had it now.
How old is she? She's older?
Yeah, she's like 69.
That's still young. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And she's had it for like either 6 or 8 years. I can't remember which one.
Mm-hmm.
So my best friend told me to talk about this today. There's a lot of controversy surrounding her husband right now, because her husband is very vocal on social media about how he has a girlfriend. And the girlfriend is a white woman. She's about 50 something. And the white woman has a room in their home because the husband and B. Smith still live in their home
But they're still
together.
married.
Uh-huh.
And he has a whole ass girlfriend while they're married and she has Alzheimer's.
Yes. And the article that I read, it talks about how like she doesn't recognize herself in pictures, like from her younger
So
days,
she
and like
probably think this lady worked for them or something. She don't know what's going on.
she thinks that the lady's just her friend or whatever.
Oh
Like,
my
because when the lady
God.
comes over there, she cares for her too.
And whole
And
time you smashing her husband.
so he has a daughter, and so it's B. Smith's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and B. Smith's daughter has actually moved in to help her as well because she's like, that's my mom. And so the daughter is kind of like, um, I guess,
She with the shits?
supportive.
Oh no. All right. Trash, trash, trash,
So,
trash, 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 trash.
so my best friend called and she was outraged about this.
Yeah.
And I read the article, and y'all, I'm not as upset as my best friend
No,
is.
fuck that. I'm with your best
Okay.
friend. I am. Fuck that. If it's to the point where she has Alzheimer's and you ready to move on, fucking divorce her and leave her the fuck alone. Like you.
That's trash though. But I
No,
wouldn't
so
want to
this
be left
isn't
alone and
trash,
have.
my nigga, to be in, which I'm sure she probably fucking paid for because she's the fucking successful one, I'm sure, in this relationship. So you're in her fucking house being disrespectful, like with a whole ass another woman. I'm sure if she didn't have Alzheimer's, like this bitch wouldn't be in the house.
Right, I know for sure. I mean, so because I also talked to my cousin because in my family we have Alzheimer's like heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was talking to my cousin about it because I was like, someone that I know like really really hands on seeing somebody going through that like dementia and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
so I was just like, how do you feel? And she feels the same way as y'all. Like, no, that's disrespectful. Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. But my thing is like she she doesn't know.
So she wouldn't know if you divorced her and moved the fuck out. Like that's
But that would be
just
that would
morally that's fucked up. Like you are taking advantage of this shit. Like get you and your boo and move the fuck out and let the parent the kids or whoever take care of her, or you can take care of her from afar, or if you don't want to then move the fuck on and leave her alone. But that's disrespectful to be up in her shit. If you wouldn't do it when she was all knowing, and had her mind, then like don't do that shit now. Like that's how I know it's sketchy. If you didn't have the bitch in there when she did have Alzheimer's, don't have the bitch in there now. Like, nah. If I
I
was
would
the
feel
daughter,
like
I'll be
it would
throwing
be
hands. Like, fuck
I
that.
feel like it would be fucked up either way because if he was like, I can't deal with this, so I'm leaving, and what he got her nurses or he put her in a nursing home, like
I
no
would
matter
rather
what
that.
happened.
Like, even with the situation, like, say, put me out there, like, with my dad with his dementia, and say it got so bad that mom was like, fuck this shit, and she got a new boo and moved a new fucking dude, and like, this her boyfriend. Let me tell you something. I would throw hands. Hands. I would find probably 5 more hands somewhere and throw them as well. Like, no, you're not gonna do that. I would respect it more if you just like, this is too much on me. Like, I understand. Like, I said for better for worse, that like I can't deal with this. I just want to go through a divorce and like leave your father and move on. Like, I've met somebody else and move on. Maybe we should put him on a home, or maybe Dice, you can take care of him. I will respect that more than you to move a nigga in, like, and you with the daughter is with this shit. It's like, oh, okay, well, nah, that's trash, 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 trashalodian.
I I guess I'm like the opposite. I just feel like, for one, I do know because I just heard about the story today, so I do know that they wrote a book at the start of when this started to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if they wrote a book about the challenges with her having this disease, I would assume that they had a conversation with one another. So my thing is like, till death do you part, sickness and health, all that good stuff. A lot of times we've gotten married when we were young. We don't know what lies ahead with us as far as what sickness really means.
Right.
And so for me, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I know the toll that it takes on people who have to care for, not just have someone in your family that has Alzheimer's, but to have to care for them.
Girl,
Have
you
to
know I know.
see, right. So seeing them like not being able to, forgetting to feed themselves, bathe themselves, wander off and go, whatever.
Right.
I know what the kind of toll that takes on someone. And the caregiver has to have peace as well.
Correct.
Not to say that it's, obviously the person that has Alzheimer's is the main focus, but like that person that is taking care of that
They
person.
need self-help
Yes.
help. Which I'm 100% with you on that. But you just go. Like, if that, like,
To
take it.
me, that's so trash, though.
But it's more trash to stay there and help this person and move a whole bitch in. Like, if you...
She's not moved in. She just has a room. She has her own home in Manhattan. It's just that because the house...
I wish you could see my face right now. I really wish you could see my face.
This is in the article. The article is that her home is 2 hours away from that home. So when she comes, she'll stay for a few days in some room, which I'm sure she don't have no room. I'm sure she's just sleeps with the husband.
Right. But dog, like, no, it's still fucking trash. Like, no, go through the whole proceedings. Like, get a divorce. Like, leave her. If you still feel like you want to be there to assist the family with, her health and stuff like that, then do that while you're dealing with your self-help and your mental health and your new girlfriend, and do that. But the fact to still stay married, you're only probably staying around so you can get whatever is in the will and your inheritance. So you coming off hella fucking greedy, getting your cake and eating it too. Like, fuck that. Like, nah, I'm not with this shit. I just feel
like no matter what, he was going to look suspect. Because if he was just to leave her, then people would be like, damn, what happened for sickness and health? Did it better or worse? And
then that's when you can be like, nigga, you don't know unless you in them shoes, because it is difficult. It's hella fucking difficult to deal with that. And if you don't have a whole bunch of help, it can be stressful. So yeah, people can talk from the outside looking in, but like, dog, like, you are disrespectful as fuck with your whole ass girlfriend, and you still married to her in the house, talking about... but yeah, like... But
if he did it secretly, and then I know people who...
But it is secretly because her ass don't know what's going on.
As soon as their spouse dies, they show up with their mistress. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter, because either he was going to leave her when she needs him the most, and then
she got money. She don't need him. The daughter could have got some help. She could have been just fine.
It's his daughter, though. I mean, it's her stepdaughter, but it's his daughter. At the end of the day, he was gonna look like trash regardless.
Trash.
Because if he left her, they would have said that he was trash for leaving her. If he did this secretly and then he just popped up with a girlfriend, even if he popped up with a girlfriend 6 months later, I know how the internet is. They've been married since 92. If he popped up with a white girlfriend, a younger white girlfriend, everybody would have suspected what is true, that he had been fucking with her. And then this situation, now he has a girlfriend now while he's caring for his wife that's going through this process. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's trash no matter how you look at it.
I agree with that. Maybe it's trash, but this is just disrespectful trash. Like, nah, you bringing this bitch in the house, like, stay here while I'm taking care of my wife, and then, like, after I put her to bed and after I bathe her and put her to bed, then we can go in the other room and fuck. Like, nah, that's disrespectful. Fucking trash.
Okay.
No me gusta.
So I brought this up to say, like, because maybe people should have discussions with their spouses, like,
wheels.
Hey, if
it need to be clauses to them wheels. That's what you need to do.
If that's what you choose. I wasn't going there. What I was saying was that you have to have an honest conversation with your spouse about what the dynamics of your marriage will be should things change. Like, if I'm in a vegetated coma, or if I'm just in a coma, period, and I'm in one for 5 years, I'm still married to my husband. Am I expecting my husband to not see companionship for them 5 years because we're married, even though...
No, but leave me alone.
That's what I'm saying. People should discuss
Let me tell you something.
For better or worse,
babe, if you listen to this,
really means.
Babe, let me tell you something. If you listen to this, if I'm in a fucking coma and you feel the need to go be manly and handle your duty, that's fine. People are human. Leave me the fuck alone. Let my vegetative stated ass leave me the fuck alone and let my children take care of me and go fuck with Becky with the good hair. Leave me the fuck alone. Don't come having her move in our house, damn it. Because let me say something. I'm a fighter. And if I come back from that coma, I'm coming for you and her ass. You hear me? Just so you know this. This is on the record. This is my spoken will. This is what the fuck I want. There it is, Chatty Pattys.
Well, my father has already placed Alzheimer's on one of us. You know, he basically told me a few weeks ago that him, me, my sister, my brother will end up with it because it's
Jesus.
so right. I was like, fuck that.
Don't you speak that shit into existence?
Right. You can speak that for yourself. I don't want that. But, you know, I kind of want to have a conversation with JT now because...
Yeah, me and B-Dub need to have a conversation because it's going to be problems.
It's going to be problems if you have Alzheimer's and you don't know what the hell is going on.
It's going to be problems. Like, as soon as my daughter gets old enough, I'm having a discussion with her. I'm like, babe, let me tell you something. In case this nigga try to act like we ain't had this conversation, I'm telling you. And I'm going to put it in writing and put it in like a safety deposit box. Like, just so, and I need insurance in case y'all, because one day I'm going to have money, y'all. And what's not going to happen is undeserving niggas get that money when I'm not here no more. I just want everything to be laid out. Just want you to know.
All right, well, those are our thoughts on that. That was it for my tea time.
Well, my tea is also angry tea, so it ain't even no good tea this week. My tea is about, and I cannot pronounce his name. I think it's Jussie.
Oh my goodness.
Smollett from Empire. Let me tell you something.
Fucking fucks.
It made me so angry when I read this. So basically, the star from Empire, I forgot his name because I stopped watching it after season 2. But
season 1.
You say you started season 1.
Yeah.
But I definitely forgot his name on Empire. But Jussie, he is the cutie, the gay guy on Empire, and he was attacked this week when he was in Chicago. And in a nutshell, he was beat up by 2 men, and they put his head in a noose, and they had on what is it called? Scully's not Scully's because those are the hats. The mask that robbers wear. My mind is going blank. Yeah. Anyway. Masks. They had on masks. And it was basically he was in Chicago, but he was coming from somewhere else, like super, super late. So he left his place to go get something to eat. And on his way back, he some people yelled at him and said, "Aren't you that F word?" Because I don't want to say it on the Chatty Pattys and then y'all say that I'm condemned, but the F word that you're not supposed to say when referring to homosexual people. "Aren't you that F word Empire nigga?" That's what they said to him. They said that they were both white. That's what they call ski masks. Had on ski masks, and they attacked him while he was fighting back. But they beat him so bad that they fractured his rib, put his head in a freaking noose, and poured bleach on him as they yelled, "This is MAGA country." And you know, MAGA is that president of y'all's little slogan, "Make America Great Again." Yeah.
MAGA is the new KKK.
I definitely seen that. I definitely see that. That's like a little slogan for y'all racist motherfuckers. That's y'all little slogan that y'all like to yell out. But bruh, this is happening in 2019, my G. Like literally, first of all, this had to be planned because who is walking down the streets of Chicago at 2 a.m. with a noose, bleach and ski mask? So y'all had to either been looking for some fucking trouble or y'all was following this dude to know that he was in town. Because I follow him on social media, so he was posting on his Insta stories about him being on the plane and stuff like that. I think his plane was like delayed on the runway and stuff like that. So he finally made it in town or whatever. So y'all had to either been planning this shit or because it's no or. Because the fact, I will not believe that 2 white men are walking around Chicago with a noose in their bag, bleach, and ready for a fight with ski masks.
You never know.
Look, I shouldn't.
You giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm not giving no MAGA niggas.
That definitely is true. They probably was walking
no
around Chicago at 2 a.m. looking for a black dude, and but the fact that they knew who he was, aren't you that F dude Empire nigga? Like, dog, like it makes me feel like they was like this was premeditated,
targeting him,
right? Like like long story short, like he was treated and he's fine, y'all. They released him from the hospital, I think earlier today, so he's good. Physically, I'm sure emotionally that's gotta be a lot to be dealing with all of that. Like, that's fucking crazy. But I hope they catch these motherfuckers. I really do. Not that, our judicial system, like, not that we can count on any justice, but that's a whole nother story. But I just feel like this is crazy, bro. Like, if this shit don't make y'all want to vote, I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all folks. Like, I'm telling you, like, what the fuck else got to happen?
To be gay in America just sounds like it's trash. To be like black and gay, good God.
And then a black man and
good
gay,
God.
Because you got white people against you, you got black men against you, like you got everybody against you. Because I saw some articles where they was like black men wasn't even like really supporting, like, hey, don't put me in this shit. Like, so yeah, I'm not gonna go further than that, but that's my tea. Like, prayers for him that he recovers both physically and emotionally, because I could not imagine going through anything this traumatic. Like, that's crazy as hell for me.
You racist ass MAGA niggas need to die. I don't care. I'll just go ahead and say it. Like,
T-Rash.
It's just too much. Like, what are y'all really upset at? Y'all keep. I don't even know what they're upset about. Like, y'all president is trash. All the niggas that work for him are trash. If you voted for him, you're trash. I don't even care if you realize that you made a mistake. You're trash.
Right.
Because he said who he was from the beginning.
Off the rip.
Type of behavior was the shit that he was enticing from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to hear no sob story about nothing, because now you realize that you were affected by the shutdown. I hope your ass gets laid off. You fucking suck. Eat a dick.
Right. This is what you voted for. Enjoy.
So to piggyback on that story, Erykah Badu, I have been trying to remain silent about you, ma'am, because I really love Mama's Gun. I mean, it is one of my favorite albums. But bitch, you're really pissing me off. First, the R. Kelly shit, and I didn't say nothing about R. Kelly when she was making comments about that. But she fucking came out on Twitter talking about, or was it Instagram? I don't know. She basically, in response to this story, was like, guys, did we get all the facts before y'all got outraged? Because, just last week, y'all were mad at me about something that got took out of context. First of all, bitch, this isn't about you. Nobody's talking about you. I don't even know how you inserted yourself in this.
Oh, my gosh.
But if you fucking open the goddamn, any article, it clearly says noose. I don't give a fuck what. I don't give a fuck who. Sexuality aside, if a noose is involved with white people attacking a black person, that's a hate crime.
So it's a double hate crime,
right?
Racial and his sexual orientation, like
right. So for Erykah Badu to be like, simmer down, guys, we need the facts.
No, bitch, fuck that. He was fucking attacked. Like, these are the facts. These aren't feelings. Like,
shut up.
This is what was found, and this is what he's saying happened to him. Like, oh, please don't make me not like you. I really, 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 really like you, Erykah.
I'm there because she was already, guys, I know that there are some accusations floating around about R. Kelly, but if we're going to live in love, we got to love people even when they're not their best. And, and condemning him, that's not love. That's what she fucking said on stage in Chicago. And that was a few weeks ago, and I didn't say nothing.
I seen that. I was like, scroll.
Like I said, I'm being honest. I love me some motherfucking Green Eyes or goddamn so many classics.
For sure.
She, at the very least, I'm going to be honest, I'm not completely ready to let go of that catalog, y'all.
I know, right? I don't want to cancel you, Erykah, please.
I'm going to have to bury it, but if she does something else, I'm just gonna have
She's
to
on
let it
thin
go.
ice.
She's on thin ice. I think I might have just listened to her shit one good time because
Just in case you're gonna have to let it go.
I feel like she is about to let me the fuck down again.
Go ahead and go on that Erica binge just in case.
I'm just gonna listen to everything that I need to listen to, and I'm gonna just chalk it up to the game because this bitch is annoying. Just shut the fuck up. Sometimes it is okay.
Silence is golden. They say that shit in the movie theater before every movie. Silence is golden.
D.L. Hughley commenting on Terry Crews's experience with sexual assault in Hollywood. It's just like, it was so unnecessary. I don't even know where the comments came from because Terry Crews talked about that shit at least like a year and a half ago. So why D.L. Hughley is bringing that up in 2019 because I didn't hear what happened. I don't even know what happened. I just saw a Twitter exchange between the two of them. And D.L. Hughley was like, you said you pushed the dude off of him, but you should have smacked him. A real man would have did da-da-da-da-da.
You don't know what you do in what situation. Like, the hashtag for 2019, shut the fuck up. Like, everybody just needs to shut the fuck up and mind their own business. Like, this would be such a joyful year if everybody just shut the fuck up and mind your business. Okay?
Terry Crews.
NYB.
If anybody doesn't know who Terry Crews is the father from Everybody Hates Chris. He was on Friday After Next.
And on White Chicks.
Yeah, he was on White Chicks. I didn't, I don't like that movie, but yeah. So if you know who I'm talking about, he's a big ass dude. He's like stocky as fuck, muscular as fuck, and of course he's black. Imagine him fucking assaulting whoever it is that assaulted him, like fucking them up, because that person would have just got a slap on the wrist, but his ass would have been locked up and then blackball from Hollywood.
Yeah, they would have made it like he was the aggressor and all that shit.
Exactly. They probably wouldn't even brought up the fact that he was sexually assaulted. Right. It probably would have just been big black man attacks Hollywood producer.
Right.
So for D.L. Hughley, somebody that's in Hollywood, I know that. And I'm broke as fuck, not in Hollywood.
Right.
So D.L. Hughley is in Hollywood. He knows better.
He know the fucking game.
So for him to say that, I don't know if he was trying to be funny or what, but it was just like, so anywho, D.L. Hughley's like, man, you should have smacked the shit out of him. Fuck that. So Terry Crews was like, so if I'm using your logic, if I should, should I smack the shit out of you too? I was living.
Yes.
Like, maybe you should. Come on. I'm ready for that.
I know that's right.
So, yeah, the motto is, please shut the fuck up.
Yes, 2019. Hashtag STFUNYB, because you got to shut the fuck up and mind your business.
Yeah.
Okay? You had to take a deep breath after that. We get some angry tea.
It just stressed me out.
Sorry, listeners. Good and bad, bad and good. I guess that's the way we're going.
You want me to start?
Yeah, I guess you can go ahead.
Okay. So, I started therapy last week, y'all.
Yay!
And basically, what had happened. So, this is going to be like my bad that ties into my good, I think, somehow. Who knows? Anywho. So, basically, my depression could be a biological thing. Like, this could be some genetic type shit that's passed down, which would actually make a lot of sense because folks in my family definitely got some mental illnesses, like on some serious shit. So there's that. There was another thing that she said could be like, in addition to having depression, there's something called seasonal. I can't think of what the A stands for, but it's disorder. But basically the acronym is SAD. And so basically it's just like, if you're already someone like me that's depressed like all year, during the winter months, it's like 10 times worse.
Oh, wow.
So one of the ways to help with that is light therapy. So I'm literally about to buy this light therapy box from Amazon to take to work so that it can shine on me. Because she was like, if I do that for like 30 minutes a day, it's not going to obviously like get rid of my depression, but it's supposed to help.
So is it like a special light, like colored lights, or it's just like,
it's like,
I've never heard of that.
It's not just like a regular light, like the light has some kind of something else. I don't have it in front of me, but it has all this extra shit.
Wow.
And that's why it's supposed to help.
That's interesting.
So, Dice and I were talking offline. She basically told me I was alcoholic and I needed to get my life and stop
The
drinking all the
therapist said that.
time.
Dice didn't say that, just to
Oh,
clarify that.
yes, I'm sorry. I was talking to Dice offline about how the therapist said those things to me, which I had already, like, y'all haven't heard any bottles falling in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't been really drinking any alcohol.
On her
Like,
side.
yeah, on my side. I have gone out to eat, and like when I go out to eat, I will get like a drink or whatever. But unless I go out to eat, like I don't drink. I don't have any wine in the house. It's actually like she asked me if I could go 30 days without drinking nothing, and I was like no. And so she kind of looked at me like maybe you should look up alcoholism because yeah. So she was telling me like this was our first session, and she was basically giving me like ideas of things that I could do that wouldn't necessarily make my depression go away, but would definitely help me to release some things or whatever. Mm-hmm. So on Saturday, I went and got my hair done, and I got to talking to my hairdresser, and I was telling her about this dude I used to talk to. And I brought something up, and it triggered something in me. I was in the hair salon crying.
No, you wasn't.
Yes, I was. This lady wrote this book that had to deal with the topic. So the lady that wrote the book actually came up to the hair salon, sat and talked with me. I got a copy of the book. I cried some more, and I'm about to go to this other, like, in addition to my therapy, I'm going to like this session that the lady runs about this particular topic.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't realize that I was even still bothered by this, but like all this stuff just came up, and I just didn't realize that I put it to the side and kind of just never really thought about it again. So
consciously, you're still dealing with it. Wow.
Right. So then I thought about it, and it kind of made me sad because I'm like, there's that. There's the sexual stuff, assault stuff that's happened. There's so much stuff I feel like that's happened to me, and everybody doesn't like, and I don't want everybody to know, but it's just like,
right.
It's no wonder I feel this goddamn way. Like when I sat down and I really thought about like, what are some things that could be triggering your depression?
All the stuff you've been through.
And I started thinking about shit, and I was just like, my nigga, it's if all I'm drinking is wine, people should be fucking excited because I should be fucking taking Henny to the face every day. I've had a gun pulled out on me. I've been tied up and had. Like, my nigga, okay. It's just so much, it's just a lot of stuff. Like, and I have to, like, release this because.
You just hold it in and try to put a smile on your face and, like, that shit only gonna last but so long. Something's gonna trigger you to just snap and it's starting to spill over.
Yeah. So, it was just crazy the way things aligned because, I had that therapy session. It was like, I really want to get to the root of what this is. And I really want to be like a happier person. And then for that to happen on Saturday, I kind of was just like, well, maybe like this is a part of the process. Like there's a reason why that topic came up and I was triggered because it's like God or whomever, whatever, like wants me to deal with this shit, really deal with my demons.
You need to address it
and get rid of them or something. So
that's good though.
It's heavy, but yeah.
You're getting there. You gotta, gotta deal with it. You gotta go through the hurt in order to get to the relief, if that makes sense. You gotta kind of address some stuff and relive and rehash some stuff that you kind of packed up and put away in order for it to, no longer affect you. So it sucks, but it's good at the same time. Pause. That sounded really bad.
Yeah.
But
so that was like my bad, but I feel like it's good because I have to deal with
definitely
it kind of thing. So what about you?
Well, I'm happy you're dealing with it. Mine is definitely not that heavy, but My bad. Like, I don't know. I have been in a funk. It feels like about a year now, but like I've been in this probably like maybe 2 or 3 months now where I just have no energy, no motivation to do anything. Like, if I could sit on my couch or in my bed for a week straight, I think like it would
Life.
be lit. Like, I feel like I'm just drained. Like, I, and I'm not going to try to self-diagnose myself, but I feel like I'm so strong for so many people that I'm finally tapped out. Maybe that's what it is, but I just don't have no energy and motivation to do anything. Like, I'm dragging every day. Like, I can barely get up to go to work. Sometimes I don't, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, like, honestly and truly, like, I just don't have the energy sometimes to even do simple things. And yeah, my mom was like, take your vitamins. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So I went and bought some B12, but I don't know, because I don't think that's going to work. But I don't know what this is. I don't know. I just want to have some energy. Maybe I need to drink more water because my water intake is heavily low because I've been replacing it with alcohol. But I don't know. Like, but I just don't have no energy. Like, for real, for real. Like, I'm just tired. Like, the moment that I wake up, I'm thinking about going back to sleep. Like, literally, when I wake up and my alarm goes off and I'm either getting ready for work or getting my kids ready for work, ready for school, I'm just like, yo, when is nap time? And especially since the couple of times that I have been home and teleworking, like, I've been working through nap time. Like, a lot of times, like, when I put my son down for a nap, I would take a quick nap, which definitely helps a midday nap. But I have been having to work. Like, today we interviewed someone, so I had to do a teleconference job interview for someone, or interview for someone. And so I didn't get to have my nap today. And like, I feel like I'm a 1 year old and I get cranky because I'm not getting enough rest. I don't know what it is. Really don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and try to self-diagnose myself, but I'm tired, y'all. I'm motherfucking tired and I don't know how to fix it. But yeah.
That sounds like my life. So I'm not going to self-diagnose you either. I'm just going to say, I'm going to just say without saying, because that literally sounds like me. Like, I don't want to get up like, not most days, like every day. If it was up to me,
Yeah, it's
I
every
would
damn
just
day.
sit in my bed and I would be content with that. And I told my therapist that, and she was just like, so no.
Yeah, I really wish I could, but being as though that I have a crazy 2 year old that doesn't allow it, and like, yeah, I just got shit that I gotta do. So like, I some kind of way drag to do it, but it literally drains the fuck out of me to do small things. And yeah, I don't know how to fix it because, like I said, I've been stuck in this little rut for a couple months now. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know. I would say getting more sleep, but when is that going to happen? So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's not bad. The good is that the government shutdown is finally
Hey.
over for now. I had a lot of folks that I really, really care about that were greatly impacted by this. And I'm just happy that they received their back pay, and that at a minimum they get to work for the next 3 weeks, the next 3 upcoming weeks, and get paid for it. Hopefully, these motherfuckers come to a resolution. But I'm going to stay on the positive because this is the good. And I'm just so happy because, like I said, I had a lot of friends and close people to me that were affected by the government shutdown. And as much as this ignorant ass president of y'all's want to say that you can just talk to the people that your bill collectors and let them know to work a deal with you, it doesn't fucking work like that in
Yep.
real life. So I'm just happy that it's over for now and that it's eased for now. But hopefully I'm praying in the future that something good happens. But
Let's all strive to
yeah.
get multiple sources of income, because if one thing
Look,
that shutdown taught me, and I knew it, but like, all of us are living paycheck to paycheck on the real. Like,
look. As much as you savings you think you got, let you go through this for a month that you don't get no
yeah.
income. But I actually need to talk with you offline because like I actually have like this idea that I want for another business. I don't know where I'm going to get the energy or time to execute it. I just said that I don't have the energy to wake up. But like I had this idea, but I don't have a background in business. So listeners, if y'all can put me in contact with somebody that's really good with business plans and finding like investors and stuff like that, please reach out to us because like I have this idea that I know if I can get it off the ground and finance, like it will bring in money, but I don't know where to start. So, and I don't have the energy to research right now. So I need help.
But we're going to end on good. So multiple sources of income. Yay. Rainbows.
Multiple sources of income. We're going to start working on it. And I'm going to figure out somebody to help me with this business plan. And honey, we're gonna get it going, get it popping, get these multiple streams of income. You dig? That's the good.
All right.
Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in as you guys do every week. And new listeners, we thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys catch up and listen to us next week. As always, we ask you to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you guys follow us as well on Instagram and Twitter at the Chatty Pattys. Go ahead on YouTube and make sure you guys subscribe to our channel as well. And
you can send us emails at the Chatty Pattys. thechattypattys@yahoo.com or visit our website at thechattypattys.com, which, by the way, I was in the Apple Store today, and y'all know I went in there again and put all the iPads on that page.
Shameless plug. Appreciate you. But y'all, if y'all don't have it, we're everywhere where pretty much podcasts are streaming. But just in case you guys aren't subscribed to any of those, you can literally go on our website and hit the episodes tab, and we have it embedded in our website through SoundCloud, where you can listen to all the websites. So there's no excuse. Literally, if you're at work, you can pull up our website, put on your earphones, and you can catch up. So there's no excuse not to listen to all of our fabulous, funny episodes. So anyway, we thank you guys for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys and chat with you next week. Bye.